everybody, with Mike Flowers. I'm Dave Niehaus, and welcome to Teaming Safeco Field, Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Mariners and the New York Yankees. You have not missed a pitch. As a matter of fact, you're about ready to see pitch number 1 from Doug Fister to the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter. And Jeter takes a strike. We are underway. What a wild weekend of sports here in the Northwest. And of course, we'll have the final score for you from Corvallis as soon as we get it. The pitch foul down the third baseline on to the Huskies. Big winners. Washington State, a winner for the first time. This town is aflame with athletic happiness tonight, Mike.
Well, and especially after the big win by the Mariners last night. What a terrific game that was, just to get all these things started.
And the pitch to Jeter is a little bit low and outside. Mike Riley, the crew chief of this umpiring quartet, is the man calling balls and strikes tonight. Doug Fister, about a month ago, won his first major league game against the Yankees. And a swing and a miss and a big jump. Big breaking ball. So one down. Let's look at the Yankee lineup, Mike.
Thank you, Dave. For the rest of the New York Yankees following Jeter, it'll be Johnny Damon. Then it's Teixeira, A-Rod hitting fourth, Matsui, Swisher, Cano, Cabrera, Cervelli, the backup catcher, will hit ninth. Take a look at the numbers for Doug Fister. It's been really good this year. I think not a lot of expectations, but you look at those numbers, 3.5 ERA, pretty good stuff.
And he sends in a strike to Johnny Damon. 0-1 to count. Seems like last night's come around maybe. There's a base hit. Well, I'll tell you, Damon is just red hot. He had 3 hits against Felix last night, and he starts off this ball game, his first at bat, with a clean base hit into right field. But with 2 outs and nobody on, and a Hall of Famer on the mound, and 2 pitches later, the game is over in your favor. That doesn't happen. It did last night.
Especially after he ended up striking out the first 2 batters he faced. He looked like he was right on top of his game as Teixeira fouls that pitch off. But what an at-bat. Professional at-bat by Mike Sweeney, coming off the bench, Dave, being aggressive, gets a first pitch fastball for a double. Then, of course, Ichiro jumps on the first pitch to hit the home run and win it.
Teixeira, fly ball to deep center field. Back is Gutierrez to the track. The wall makes the lead, can't get it. So a go get the ball as Damon is around third. He is going to score. And it's 1-0 New York on the triple by Mark Teixeira. He usually catches that ball. He got leather on it. This time he came up snake eyes.
I'll take a look at it. Teixeira having a terrific year for the Yankees. Drives his ball to dead center field. A little bit cooler tonight. You see Gutierrez go back. That would have been a home run. It hits right on the end of his glove and is able to bring it back into the ballpark. A terrific effort by Gutierrez. Dave, you're right. It looked like when he slammed into the wall, it jarred the ball loose. And it was probably because it was on the end of his glove.
Well, he made an unbelievable play last night on Nick Swisher's ball. Hit up against the wall in right center field. Almost another spectacular play. Here's A-Rod now. With the infield in, Alex will take a strike on 1 to count. Mark Teixeira, his 114th RBI, leads the league in runs driven in. What a first year in Yankee pinstripes. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Alex.
And early in the game, the Mariners infield will play halfway. If the ball's hit hard at him, they'll have a chance at a play at the plate.
And a ground ball to third. Backhanded there beautifully by Beltre, and he will throw him out. As the runner Teixeira has to stay at third base. So 2 down. You saw our final from Corvallis. The Cincinnati Bearcats knocking off the Beavers 28-18 this afternoon in Corvallis. And Hideki Matsui will be the hitter. breaks his bat. Beginning with Teixeira, actually beginning with Johnny Damon. He's got 24 home runs. 24 for Damon, 35 for Teixeira, 25 for A-Rod, 25 for Matsui, 27 home runs for Swisher, 23 for Cano. That's a true murderer's row.
No question. And Posada isn't even in the lineup.
No,
and their leadoff hitter has 17 in Jeter.
He's serving the last day of his suspension. And that is high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hideki Matsui, how many home runs does he have? Well, he's in 5 years with the Yankees hit 137 home runs. And that's a breaking ball inside. In 10 years with the Yomiuri Giants, he hit 332. So he's hit 469 home runs in professional baseball. Not bad. Changed that time a little bit outside. And a hard ground ball foul down to the ball girl. Got a crowd today, almost sellout proportions. I'm saying 42, 43,000 fans here. And one more game between these two teams tomorrow afternoon. Ian Snell against Jabba Chamberlain. Three-2 pitch. And he lost him with a pitch that misses high. The changeup at that. So Hideki down to first base. Here comes a tough out. He may be hitting 256, but he has been about as tough an out as anybody in that Yankee lineup.
Well, he'll make you work. He'll take a lot of pitches. As you mentioned, 27 home runs on the year for him.
28-year-old Nick Swisher. Too high. That's just about Fisher's best gas, 89 miles an hour. Too far inside. That time with a change, so the count of the ball and a strike.
A lot of purple here at the ballpark tonight. Some people made it a full day of sports.
I'll never forget one day at the Kingdome when Notre Dame was here. Played at Huskies Stadium, and the Huskies lost a heartbreaker. And you guys were playing, I believe it was the Yankees, and in the upper deck in right field there was a huge bare spot where nobody was sitting. And about 15 minutes after the game started, it was all purple. It all come right from Husky Stadium over to the Kingdome. And I'm sure that's happened here tonight. Breaking ball on the inside corner, so the count 2-1 on Nick Swisher. Challenged him.
You mentioned Davis fastball, last one up in the zone, 88 miles an hour. It looks harder to hitters, I think. One, because of the movement on it, but two, because he has such a good changeup and is willing to throw his breaking ball when he's behind in counts. You can't just sit on the fastball with him. He'll pitch his way through a game instead of just trying to throw the baseball by you. But I think because he can throw those off-speed pitches, fastball looks better.
And the 2-2. Inside and high, ball 3, 3-2. Too many pitches here in the first inning. Pfister is throwing 22. Matsui takes off from first base here. I don't know what he was thinking there. Turned around and looked to second base.
Maybe.
Just a piece of it still alive.
And another changeup from Pfister.
Over third base is Teixeira. Matsui is at first. And Matsui again will be taking on. And a high fly ball popped up into left center field. Franklin Gutierrez moves over there and makes the catch. That will retire the side. So one run only. 2 left for the Yankees. We are underway. Nice to have you with us. 1-0 New York. As we go to the bottom half of the first, let's revisit the 9th inning in last night's ball game with 2 outs and nobody on. Mike Sweeney steps up to the plate as a pinch hitter for Josh Wilson, and on the first pitch from Rivera, hits this one into right center field over the head of Swisher. So that puts him in scoring position. And on the very next pitch, Ichiro ended it. There was little doubt about it, and the place went bonzo as Ichiro put that one way back into the lower deck in right field. The Mariners had won it 3-2 in one of their most dramatic wins in their history, in their 33-year history. So nice, warm feelings as the Mariners arrived at the ballpark this afternoon, as you can imagine. Ichiro, his second walk-off hit in as many games, and he never ever had one before. That's amazing. So here he is, Ichiro, with a 400 batting average against CC. CC has beaten the Mariners once, he's lost to them once. And the breaking ball is a little bit inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, that's this year. Mariners beating New York, and Sabathia winning here. Yankees won each of Sabathia's 9 starts. And that's foul back behind home plate. So he's doing this year for New York what he did last year for the Brewers coming down the stretch.
He has been terrific. And it's the reason why they gave him the contract that they gave him was this time of the year the Yankees expect to be in the postseason. And you take a look what he's done at Safeco Field. Nice ERA at 2.5.
Up and in. There are several advantages of pitching for New York. Number one, you're going to be a very rich man if you have any success whatsoever. Number two is you don't have to worry about not getting any offensive support. Rarely. Usually you're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 runs when you pitch for the Yankees.
And if you struggle, you're going to hear about it. You know, it's just all of that, all the good stuff is there, but there's also some downsides to it. But you're right, Dave. There's certainly a lot of advantages to pitching for the Yankees.
3-1 pitch, and he bunts the ball foul back behind home plate.
I was wondering a little bit about that when we were, especially early in the year when we heard about the ball flying out of the ballpark at Yankee Stadium. How CC, Burnett, who we saw last night, a couple of the newcomers, how they were going to react to that. But CC's having a terrific year this year for the Yankees.
Look out. Off to our left and back into the stands.
You can see he has a pretty good fastball early on, 94 miles an hour. He'll get it up to 95, 96.
Run 1 changeup so far, and that's it. And that fastball again. And 94 miles an hour. Breaking ball, what an at bat. Nice 8-pitch walk to Ichiro. Let's look at the Mariners lineup.
Following Ichiro, it'll be Franklin Gutierrez, then Lopez Sweeney, one of the heroes in last night's game, will hit 4th. Beltre Kenji back in the lineup. Then it's Bill Hall hitting 7th. Tuya Sopo getting a chance to play second base. He will hit 8th. And Josh Wilson, the shortstop, hits 9th. About the numbers for CC Sabathia, you can see his ERA under 3.5, 178 strikeouts for him this year.
Gutierrez takes a strike on 1. Speaking of the Cy Young candidates, what about Mr. Felix Hernandez last night? What do you say?
He was terrific last night. 1 earned run, pitched a complete game. Was fortunate there with a few heroics at the end to get the win, which he certainly deserved. I think he has to be in the discussion.
Swing and a miss, badly fooled. Check a Banner Bank note about Felix Hernandez in his last 22 starts. The team is 17-5. He is 12-2. And his ERA is 1.86. Get much better than that.
Oh, and he's averaging 7 1/3 innings pitched, so he's pitching deep into games. Very, very strong.
And a fly ball to center field, and drifting back into right center field on the warning track out there is Cabrera to make the catch. Pretty good ride off the bat of Franklin Gutierrez.
It's a long ways out to right center field. Cabrera had to cover some ground. He wasn't playing that deep, but he gets back in pretty good shape to make the catch.
Jose Lopez will be the hitter. Lopez picking up his career high 90th RBI in yesterday's ball game, last night's ball game. Fall is upon us, and temperature 60 degrees at game time. 10 degrees cooler than it was first pitch last night. Changed pitches that time. Or a slider, I suppose. Chased the ball, probably was too far low. So down on strikes is Jose Lopez, and with doing well.
Well, Sabathia ends up getting him with a good changeup down and away. Jose Lopez chases it. He has all the pitches. He's one of the better left-handers you're going to see. Very good changeup.
Mike Sweeney, who had the pinch hit double last night, has taken Sabathia deep on a couple of occasions. And taps it to the second baseman. And Cano will throw him out, and the Mariners are left with Ichiro over at first base as we go to the second inning of play. The Yankees 1 and the Mariners nothing.
Baseball on FSN. The Tracer is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
And we move into the second inning of play. And as we do, here's Robinson Cano. Strike that time from Doug Fister to him. Cano's 1 for 1 against Fister. And that ball's hit to deep right field, and Ichiro will watch it go over his head and take a hop into the stands for a ground rule double. So he's 2 for 2.
And he hits this one on a line. Take a look at the swing by Robinson Cano. Does a nice job of staying behind the baseball, right in the middle of the plate. Ichiro gets turned around a little bit in right field, but no chance to get back and make the play. Ball was just hit too hard.
And Melky Cabrera get a chance to drive him in now with nobody out. Chops at the ball. He's going to bunt, and he gets the foul ball off Jojima. Man, he's hurt.
I couldn't tell where that hit him. Take another look at it. Just kind of jabs at the bunt. Right on the kneecap.
Yep.
Although they have the shin guards on a lot of times, so they'll bend. They have those little gaps in there. Sometimes the ball will hit in that gap. And the guys aren't protected nearly as well. Take another look at it.
Yeah, it looks like it hits right in that crease, right, Dave?
Yeah, and there's nothing but cloth there. There's not plastic. It's a hinge, as you can see, and he is really hurting. I guess you just can't get protected enough back there, to tell you the truth.
No, you certainly can't. I remember talking to Dave Valley one time about it and the gear and all the other stuff, and I asked him, said, how much protection do you wear when you go back there? Just different things. He said, anything I can get my hands on. And I don't blame him. There's Val.
Nice to have Val here tonight. Working with us on radio. Of course, now with the MLB TV network, and doing a heck of a job.
Terrific job.
In New York. So he's going to be all right. Wonder why he had such a smile on his face when the catcher's in pain. That'll move the runner to third base. As Matt Tuiasosopo throws him out. A productive out. And the Mariners will probably bring the infield up now. With one down, they will. Francisco Cervelli, a 23-year-old kid out of Venezuela, Valencia, Venezuela. That's Felix's hometown. Filling in while Jorge Posada serves out his 3-day suspension for the fight they got into in Toronto. And Cervelli getting a chance to catch tonight. Takes the pitch down, low ball one ball and no strikes.
He's done a nice job in limited duty. Hitting 268 overall. He has a home run, 10 RBIs.
Look out down the third baseline. A ball and a strike. And a ground ball to third. Beltre looks her runner back. Comes him out of there. So 2 down. Another thing Felix did last night was, after that 14-inning game the night before, give the bullpen a complete rest, and they really needed it.
He stepped up time and time again for them, and I think that's one of the things that you have to consider when you're talking about the Cy Young Award, Dave. He's pitched deep into games. He's done it time and time again. Typically, he's pitched well when they've lost a game. When he's been the guy to take the ball the next day, he's done a terrific job of that. But you're right, that was really important to get the bullpen some rest. Everybody threw in that 14-inning game.
Derek Jeter struck out, and he takes a strike here. Fister 0-1 to count. And a ground ball to second. Some pretty fancy pitching that time by Doug Fister, as he gives up the leadoff ground rule double, and the Yankees can't score. Here in the second, nothing doing. A hit and the man left. 1-0 New York.
brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's premier entertainment and dining destination.
Moving into the bottom half of the second. And Adrian Beltre, the Mariners' third baseman, will be the first up, to be followed by Kenji Jojima. And then Bill Hall. CC Sabathia looking for his 18th win of the year. Line outside, ball one. Change a breaking ball for a strike. Boston, no winner today. They've crawled to within 6 of the Yankees. The Yankees have 3 more against the Red Sox in New York. And that's pulled down the left field line into the corner. Should be extra bases. On his way for 2 is Adrian Beltre. He will have the leadoff double here in the second. And Adrian Beltre had been 0 for 10 against CC Sabathia. I guess that's the reason they call them averages. You don't stay 0 forever.
Take a look at the swing by Adrian Beltre. Gets a fastball and hits it hard down into the corner. I think sometimes it just means that you're due.
Absolutely. So Jojima, who loves to turn on pitches like that and drill that left field corner too, will get his chance here. Apparently his knee's fine. And it's a foul. Conversely, where Beltre was 0 for 10, Jojima is 5 for 11. I don't pay a heck of a lot of attention to hitters' averages against pitchers until you get 25 or 30 at bats.
I would agree. Absolutely agree with that.
Camden that time. Texas finally beat the Angels 3-2. Texas has not won a game since the Mariners left. And a fly ball in the left center field. And moving over will be Melky Cabrera. And Mr. Beltre will have to hold down there at second base. Friday, October the 2nd, the Mariners salute you, the best fans in baseball, Fan Appreciation Night. The Mariners are going to be meeting the Rangers. Prizes are going to be given away throughout the game, including 50-inch plasma TVs, flip HD video cameras, a trip for 2 to Las Vegas, autographed player jerseys, and more. A night of fun, excitement, and lots of surprises. For tickets, you can visit Mariners.com. Bill Hall, the hitter. Hall a double in last night's ball game. He's playing with a very sore quad. Snap throw through the second base and going back in. Standing up is Adrian Beltre. That was close.
That was close. A terrific throw by Cervelli, the backup catcher. See Adrian trying to get a good secondary lead. Isn't leaning, but has to hustle back in.
Change up. Breaking ball, 1 strike. They've been a little And going to third, Beltre. The pitch is a strike. Throw to third base, not in time. How about Adrian Beltre picking up his 12th stolen base as Bill Hall is called out on strikes?
Terrific jump by Beltre. Goes in hard. See Alex trying to put the tag on him, ends up dropping the ball. I think Adrian was in regardless. But he was able to get his hand in there in plenty of time. He did.
That's about as bad a double play as you can make. A strike him out, throw him out at third base double play if it doesn't work. But it worked. 2 away. And here's Matt Tuiasosopo. Outside. We're playing in his second game since being recalled. Down low. Games with Tacoma. Of course, he had elbow surgery earlier in the year. Hit 261. He just turned 23. Jumped out of his shoes at that. Where do you think he'll eventually end up? What position?
Wow. I think he'll eventually end up playing third base.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I do. 23 years old. He's a big man. I think he goes about 230 pounds, 225 pounds. Terrific athlete. That's why he's able to play second base right now. But I think eventually he'll go back over to third.
His brother and assistant coach for the Huskies on the sidelines this afternoon. What a thrill that was for him. Marcus. Outside, he lost him. The second base on balls given up by CC.
We were talking about some good sized second baseman a couple of days ago when Tui was playing second, and I was trying to think of some. One that I can think of probably was a pretty big second baseman, but you would know better than me, would be Bobby Grich. He was a pretty good sized guy, wasn't he?
Grich was a good sized guy. I'll tell you another one. You go back when I was a kid. The Cardinals had a second baseman, a Hall of Famer, Red Schoendienst, and he was, 6'1", 6'2", something like that, slender, and an outstanding second baseman. Yeah, Richie was a good sized guy. Josh takes a strike, going one. Jack Wilson still on the shelf. That bad heel. And that's down low inside. Russell Branyan back in Tennessee might be watching us tonight in the Major League Baseball package, and we wish him well as he's going to be joining the ball club down in Tampa, and hopefully going to be doing some work with his own private therapist, and maybe be back when the ball club in the lineup when the ball club gets to Toronto. And a ground ball, just foul. The Mariners have missed him, but they played well. They've held their own without his power. just a little bit outside. And I'd take that pitch.
Mariners making Sabathia work here in the second inning. 19 pitches for him so far.
And he got it. Pretty good mustard. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. The Mariners lead 2. And in the first 2 innings, they've left 3 aboard. They had no runs. We go to the third. 1-0 New York. Aflac trivia question, and perhaps we can sneak it in. No, let's wait just a second or so, because stepping in is Johnny Damon, and he'll take a strike over the outside corner. 0-1 the count. We'll get to our Aflac trivia question in a moment. And a change, and a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Damon, who singled sharply into right field and scored the only run of the ball game so far. Down the third baseline. Man, is he hot. He just pecks at you, and he's got himself a double. The opposite way, right inside the third base bag.
Pretty good pitch by Doug Fister. It's away running from him. You can see he has to reach for it. And when things are going well, you get base hits like this right inside the bag. Nothing that Beltre can do about it.
So, Teixeira, who hit one almost out of here, off the glove of Gutierrez in the second for a triple, is the hitter. And Mr. RBI, he is indeed leading the league, taking a strike on 1. Up and in. Another 89-mile-an-hour fastball, and ball and 2 strikes.
Good sinker, though, trying to keep the ball away from Teixeira. Teixeira looked like he tried to hook that ball, reach out and pull it to move Damon up. He's just off the plate away.
Up and in. From the Baltimore area, actually Annapolis. Mark Teixeira hit the jackpot in the offseason. The Angels at the end of last year. And he pops him up into shallow left field and going out. Giving way to Bill Hall is Josh Wilson, and Hall reached down and barely made the catch of that one. Good play by Hall. Aflac! So one down. Now here's our Aflac trivia question. Who am I? You're not Alex Rodriguez because you're here stepping to the plate. On this date in 49, I became the first National League player to hit 50 home runs or 50 or more home runs in 2 different seasons. The first National League player to do that. A-Rod, a ground ball to third. Beltre threw him out. And the breaking ball is a strike to him over the outside corner.
Any ideas?
I have an idea. My guess would be Ralph Kiner of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I would agree. I think that's a great.
I have no idea.
No, I think that. No, I would agree with you.
Hall of Famer. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Turned out to be an outstanding for many, many years broadcaster with the New York Mets. Married to a lovely tennis star named Nancy Schaffy. And A-Rod. How about that one? How about that double play? Well, I'll tell you, Doug Fister is living a charmed life. Look at this, a line drive, backhanded at second base by Tuiasosopo. He gets up and runs it to the bag, and they get Damon off the sack. Living a charmed life. Still 1-0 New York. Well, Alex Rodriguez just scorched the line drive that Matt Tuiasosopo turned into an unassisted double play. And a 0 up on the board for New York is Ichiro. Up for the second time, bangs one into right field for a base hit. Now an 8-game hitting streak. Our Aflac trivia question was, on this date in 49, it became the first National League player to hit 50 or more home runs in 2 different seasons. Who am I? We lucked out. It is Ralph Kiner, who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had 51 in 1947, 54 in 1949. Other National League guys, Hack Wilson hit 56 in 1930. Johnny Mize, the big cat, had 51 in 1947. Kiner's the first to have 50 or more twice in the National League. Here's Franklin Gutierrez bunting the ball down the third baseline foul. Ralph Kiner, not that many home runs, really, not by today's standards. 369 home runs, 1,100 RBIs. elected to the Hall of Fame in '75. Started broadcasting in '61 with the White Sox and then went to the Mets in '62 and still makes occasional guest appearances. Kind of one of my long ball heroes as a kid.
Is that right?
Man, yeah, I remember him with the Pirates. Long ball after long ball.
I'd like to see the Mariners start taking advantage of some of these situations. They get the leadoff hitter on to start the game, Ichiro, when he walked, and then he get a leadoff double from Beltre last inning, and now they have Ichiro over at first again.
And that's hooked foul. Too far inside. Sabathia with 215 innings. So he's had a great year.
Terrific year.
Look at that man. Speaking of good years, Felix Hernandez. Let's be on display, I guess, in Tampa, right? Swing and a miss. That ball is down low and outside. So Franklin Gutierrez, strikeout victim number 4. And Jose Lopez, the hitter. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to come out here. Mariners going to be hosting the Yankees. The first 15,000 fans taking home a Safeco Field 10th anniversary reusable grocery bag with a certificate inside for a free, energy-efficient light bulb, courtesy of Seattle City Light. For tickets, you can visit Mariners.com. Lopez toward the hole, and right there is Jeter, and the throw back to first. Not in time, not quite in time to get the double play.
Take a look at it. Nice backhanded play. Jeter gets rid of it quickly, but Cano is really quick over at second base. Looks like maybe the Mariners got away with one there.
Yeah, I think they did. Teixeira was heading over toward the dugout.
See if Mike Sweeney can make him pay for it. Take advantage of that.
Mariners with base runners all over the place, as have the Yankees. Fastball to Sweeney, and he fouls it back.
Up out over the plate. Good pitch for Mike to hit.
Slowly tapped to third. A-Rod bare hands, off bounds, still doesn't get it. Sweeney, his 36-year-old legs, man, and churning up that first base line.
A rare infield hit for Mike. Take a look at it. Alex comes in. I think he tried to glove it at first, then he had to go to the bare hand. Really doesn't get anything on the throw across the diamond. Nice pick over first by Teixeira, but Mike Sweeney with an infield base hit.
So Beltre, who jumped on one and banged it into the left field corner for a double. Hopes he can do the same thing again. Yankees with 4 hits, the Mariners with 3. Got him a change way out in front of it that time.
Sabathia seems to be throwing more changeups in this game than what I remember. That pitch in the middle of the plate, Adrian out in front of it. From what I remember watching him, he's more of a fastball breaking ball, good hard slider type of pitcher, but he's throwing more changeups tonight.
Shaking off Cervelli about 2 or 3 times, if that's what he's doing. And Beltre steps out for a second. Checked his swing. Did he go around? And they say he did. The first base umpire, Chuck Merriweather, calls him out. And that will be that. 5 strikeouts now for CC. Couple of hits, and the Mariners lead 2 more. They have stranded 5. We're through 3, and it's still 1-0 New York. Thousand here tonight, seeing quite a duel between Doug Fister of the Mariners and CC Sabathia of the Yankees. The Yankees scored 1 in the first, and that's been it. And Hideki Matsui will step in and lead it off. We got a little bit of missed beginning here right now. The delivery is a strike on the inside corner, 0-1 the count. And that's a little outside. A ball and a strike. Not bad. 12 of 14.
It's terrific. Doing a nice job of working ahead of the Yankees.
And that's hooked into the stands, Dunner. He make that catch on the fly?
He did.
With his glove? That's great. Celebrating Washington State's win today, I guess. Over the SMU Mustangs. Two and two. Have to go back and do some research, Mr. Blowers, to find out when the last time the Huskies and the Cougars won on the same weekend. Wouldn't you? And that's a long ball. I mean a long ball. Watch that baby fly away. Man alive. Hideki Matsui, number 26. And just like that, it is 2-0 New York. That was an absolutely majestic home run off the bat of Hideki Matsui. Thought it was going to be in the upper deck for a minute.
Well, I couldn't tell, but I think it definitely hits the cafe out into right field. Hit it a long way. See the fastball right on the inside corner. He jumped all over it.
Well, I guess not. Just below it. Just below it. They're saying 408 feet. And Nick Swisher is the hitter. And he pops this one up. Ichiro will have an easy play for this one. The inaugural Oktoberfest at Safeco Field is set for Thursday, the 1st of October. Mariners going to be hosting the A's, and your ticket includes a seat in the Oktoberfest section, a limited edition Mariners Stein or T-shirt, and your first beverage at the pregame party in the Bullpen Market. For tickets or more information, you can visit mariners.com/Oktoberfest. Robinson Cano takes high, ball one. And a high foul off the third base side. You ever go to Oktoberfest in Munich?
No, never. You?
No. I've been in Munich, but not for Oktoberfest.
Yeah, no.
Must be a crazy time. And that will be taken to the bag by Jose Lopez. Cano's gone.
You ever had one of those big steins with the warm beer in it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It wasn't warm.
It wasn't warm?
No, it wasn't warm. It was good. It was good.
I think.
Hofbrauhaus is where we went in Munich. Maybe the most famous of all of them.
Did you enjoy it there?
Yes, I did. Loved it. It was cold. It was a strike at the knees. It was in November, and it was very, very cold, but very, very interesting. One and two. And that's down the left field line. Is it playable? It is. And it's caught in fair territory down there by Bill Hall. So here in the fourth, a long Hideki Matsui leadoff home run, and the Yankees lead is now 2-0.
Tracer is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Man on the cell phone there is a former MVP of a World Series. That is Scott Brosius. He was a Yankee. He won that. He lives in Oregon. He's from Oregon. And here's Kenji Jojima to lead it off in the fourth inning for the Mariners. Mariners knocking on the door, but so far nobody's answered it. Got base runners every inning.
Tough to bunch those hits together, isn't it, Dave, off of CC Sabathia?
He's a tough hombre. There's no doubt about it. One. Cool night. Temperature probably in the high 50s here this evening. 60 degrees at game time. Jeter, 3 or 4 steps, runs in on the ball and makes the throw. The Yankee captain has Jojima 1 down. And the final meeting of the year tomorrow between the Mariners and the Yankees. Ian Snell against Jabba Chamberlain. I'll be with you at 12:30 in the afternoon. And then the Mariners fly down to Tampa, Florida. Actually, St. Petersburg, Florida, for 2 games on Tuesday and Wednesday, then up to Toronto for 4. And they travel for the year will be over. Mariners' final week of play is against Oakland and Texas here. Bill Hall, 0-1. A good year. Really has.
It really has. You guys have done a nice job of turning things around. Started with Jack Zarenzik and Don Wakamatsu in the year that those guys have had, working with all these young guys, a lot of different players.
Yeah, you know, when you consider that this all started in last October when they hired Jack Zarenzik, they didn't know Jack Zarenzik that much. He was recommended by a few people. He was with Milwaukee. And then he had to hire his own new staff, hire his own manager. And not too many of these people knew each other.
Right. Well, it's worked out. He was able to put a group of people together that certainly appears that they were willing to work together.
Easy ground ball to Robinson Cano. And Matt Tuiasosopo, the hitter. And not only that, they have replenished the farm system this year with a great draft, I think. We'll know more about that in another 4 or 5 years. But they're really happy.
And they have, and they've picked up some young guys and a few deals that they've made too, which you know, you have to do that also. I think in the end, though, you look at this year, Dave, and give credit to a lot of different people, but it's been the bullpen this year that has been terrific. And that's been the biggest difference, because when we left spring training, I know you and I talked about it, we had no idea what was going to happen out there.
I thought that was going to be the biggest weakness, I'll be honest with you. I thought the bullpen was going to be the Achilles heel of the Mariners, and it's turned out to be very much their #1 strength.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And there they sit. And that ball is a tee shot into left center field. Latour's going to have that ball caught by Melky Cabrera. So for the first time, the Mariners go in order against CC. Go to the 5th, 2-0 New York. by Pizza Hut. Get loads of melty cheese with a stuffed, crushed pizza. Only from Pizza Hut. We're moving to the 5th inning of play, and this is Francisco Cervelli, the catcher. Ball 1 to him. 1 ball and no strikes. Cervelli hit a ground ball to Beltre. He's only at bat. And he's missed with his first 3. They want to walk the number 9 hitter. I guess counts 2-1, isn't it? 2-1.
Good shape with his pitch count. Just 60 pitches.
Struggled in the first, as you can see, and then has really settled down. 24 pitches in the first inning.
Saw that foul ball go down the third baseline. It went right over there where we showed Scott Brocious. Reflexes have slowed a little bit. He's not nearly as quick to get his hand up in time.
There's Scott with his family.
Yeah.
Checked his swing, and he didn't go. Full count, 3-2. Pitcher's ready to go. He'd like the hitter to be there because he's going to come right after you. Now he has to wait for Cervelli, but not long. And that ball hit foul.
Cervelli's not sure what to do with that good sinker that Pfister's throwing up there. Just keeps pulling the ball foul. See the pitch speeds for him. Topped out at 90 so far in this at bat. Good movement on his fastball.
And a line drive to center field. Base hit. Squared that one up beautifully.
Missed with that last pitch out over the plate. He can handle.
And here comes Jeter now. Jeter with 2,730 hits, more than any Yankee in history. And Derek now 35 years of age. Want to know the count? The roof is closing now here at Safeco Field. Is the weather's getting a little damper.
Like out at your house, but down in the South Sound we had a bunch of rain last night. Did you get a bunch of rain?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
I think also it was quite a bit warmer down there today than it was up here.
Nice change. Wow. 74 miles an hour.
Terrific off-speed pitch. Jeter, who can normally handle the off-speed stuff without much problem, was way out in front of this pitch. Take a look at the swing by Derek Jeter. Way out in front of that pitch.
And a one-hopper on into center field with a runner going. Cervelli. But Cervelli will stop at second base. A little hit and run. Ball hit too sharply into center field. Cervelli, the catcher. And the Yankees now with runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the 5th.
Because it was hit so hard. Cervelli, even though he was on the move, wasn't able to go to third.
And here he is. Down at Damon. is 5 for 6 in this series so far.
Yeah, just getting some movement out in the bullpen. It looks like it'll be Vargas starting to loosen up.
There's Jason. And that's a line drive to right field. He's got another hit. Got 3 more hits tonight, and the Yankees are going to pick up another run. They lead it 3-0. And they're not waiting. They're swinging early in the count here in the 5th.
Well, Doug has been around the plate. We've shown you how many first pitch strikes he's thrown in the game, and Johnny Damon, who has been really hot. That's his 6th hit already in 2 games against the Mariners. 3 for 3 so far in the game today.
So Damon has been the man. Here comes Adair. Look at Adair, the Mariner pitching coach.
Go out and buy some time for Jason Vargas to get loose.
It's kind of choose your poison with this guy, though. He's a switch hitter. Doesn't make much difference. Middle infield will give up a run or a shot at the double play here. Starts him off with a straight change. Down the line, fly away. 3-run home run for Mark Teixeira. And just like that, it is 6-0 New York. For Teixeira, his 36th home run of the year. A line drive to right field. And still nobody out here in the 5th.
Well, take a look at, he's out in front of it. He's strong, though. Hits a line drive. Looked like it hit the fencing on the other side of the fence and bounced back into the ballpark. Ricocheted back off the top of the fence out there. Hit that screen. So he had just enough of it to get it out of the ballpark.
So 6-0 New York. And the pitch misses to A-Rod. A-Rod hit that line drive. It was turned into an unassisted double play in the 3rd. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Mark Teixeira now with 117 RBIs. Two and 1. Count, and he's given up now 9 home runs in his month here, a little bit more than a month here. And A-Rod takes a strike. He was on his way to first base. And he misses inside, ball 4. And with Matsui coming up, my guess is that will be it for Pfister. Here it comes. So here comes Don Wakamatsu, and Pfister can last only 4 innings. Can't get anybody out here in the 5th. And Jason Vargas will take over, and we'll be right back. Baseball on FSN is brought to you by Sterling Savings Bank. Now more than ever. By Les Schwab, celebrating over 50 years of pride in performance. And by Pizza Hut. Get loads of melty cheese with a stuffed crust pizza. Only from Pizza Hut. So Mr. Pfister's driven to cover here in the 5th inning. It all started out with the Cervelli base hit up the middle. And then on the hit and run, Jeter a base hit. Then Johnny Damon had his 3rd base hit, driving in a run. And Teixeira unloaded. And then after Alex walked on a 3-2 pitch, that's it. So a real struggle for Pfister tonight.
It's one of the reasons, Dave, why they say that the Yankees have the best club. As you look at the numbers for Doug Pfister, 79 pitches for him in the game. Is he threw a lot of strikes. Out of the 79 pitches, 53 of them for strikes, but it's the quality of those strikes. And if you start missing your spots a little bit, the Yankees will put it on you in a hurry, and that's what they've done here in the 5th so far with the 4 spots, nobody out.
Matsui hit a 408-foot home run, leading off last inning. And Vargas is on the inside corner with a strike on 1. Hideki also walked in the 1st inning. And that's pulled foul down the right field line. Yankees on a brief West Coast tour. Here 3, and then 3 in Anaheim. Far outside. I guess you would have to say this is a club to beat for it all.
I think so. I think at this point you look at what they've done this year, how well they've played in the second half of the season with the momentum that they are going to have going into the postseason. I would say yes, this is the club.
Looks like they'll probably be playing the Central Division champion, which will probably be Detroit. Although that's not etched in stone yet. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Minnesota making a run at the Tigers. And then the Red Sox would be meeting the Angels again.
Minnesota coming into the game tonight have won 5 in a row.
Chased a bad ball, and down he goes. That's out number 1 here in the 5th. We invite you to visit the official online shop of the Seattle Mariners. It's at mariners.com. You can browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps and t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and more. Get your team gear straight from the source at mariners.com shop. Swisher turns around now and hits from the right side. That's a little bit outside. The Mariners' new schedule is out, and the Yankees only make 1 trip here next year. Red Sox make 2. Slowly hits his 2nd. There's 1. Relay back to first. Nicely done, the double play. But the damage has been done here in the 5th inning as 4 come across. As we go to the bottom half of the 5th, the Yankees enjoy a 6-0 lead.
Welcome back, everybody, as we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Josh Wilson to lead things off. The Yankees lead by a score of 6-0. CC Sabathia with some offense in the first half of the game. The Yankees getting 4 in the top half of the fifth inning. A swing and a foul back by Josh, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers, and Jason Vargas came on and stopped the bleeding there in the top half of the fifth.
Well, he did, and I think that when you look at Pfister and the way the game was going for him, Rick, he had pitched himself out of some situations, and it eventually caught up to him. And the difference is with the Yankees is if you're a guy that is not going to be overpowering plus stuff, you're not going to get away with too many mistakes. And that's why, for me, offensively and probably the team to beat in the American League this year is because they will put it on you in a hurry, and last inning was a good indication of that. A couple of base hits and then the home run by Teixeira, and it's a 4 spot real quick on Doug Pfister, and he ends up having to leave the game.
Sometimes it could happen in a hurry with that Yankees offense. 6 runs on 9 base hits. Wilson pops one up, first base side, plenty of room for Mark Teixeira on the other side of the coach's box near Lee Tinsley. So 1 out for the Mariners here in the bottom of the fifth inning. But you're right, Mike. Pfister was hanging in there, worked out of some jams, but the Yankees got his pitch count up there. And you just can't miss.
Well, they either scored a run or they had runners in scoring position in every inning, all 4 of the innings that he had pitched, and eventually it caught up to him. And again, you have to be so fine. You make a few mistakes and they will hurt you. It's exactly what happened. You know, because Doug Pfister, he won his first game against the Yankees and pitched well. I think he was down more in that game, probably had a little better command of his breaking ball and his changeup, and tonight he was a little bit off. It ended up hurting him.
Yeah, in that game, he, by the way, it was his first major league win and his second major league start. He went 7 innings, but he didn't walk anybody and struck out 4. Ichiro takes inside for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. Mike, congratulations to your Huskies. They win against number 3 ranked USC. 16-13 last second field goal.
See a lot of purple hair in the ballpark tonight.
Fouled back by Ichiro, 2-1 the count. Time now for our U.S. Marine Corps leaders of the game. How about this upset? UW over USC 16-13. What a win.
That really had to pain Curtis down in the truck to put that note up there for us.
However, the Cougars won today.
I agree.
They beat SMU in overtime 30-27. So a big college football Saturday afternoon with both the Huskies and the Cougars winning today. Wonder how SIU did, the Salukis. Nobody cares but me.
Well, if you care, why don't you find out what the score is?
I guess I don't care that much.
I guess you don't.
Foul back by Ichiro. And the count's still 2-2. Mike, what about the at-bats last night by Sweeney and Ichiro? They went after the first pitch against Mario
Experience.
Rivera.
Absolutely. It's experience on both sides of it. It's guys that have been around, both guys that have had at-bats off of Rivera, and the experience came through in those situations.
2 pitches, the game was over.
Well, it's one of those things. Ichiro fouls another pitch off. You go back to the game last night, and you have a couple of younger guys in Hanahan and Johnson, and Rivera takes care of them. And then Sweeney comes up there. He's obviously watching. He knows that Rivera likes to work ahead and then get to the edges. And he got a first pitch coming off the bench fastball in the middle of the plate and hit it hard into right center field for a double. And Ichiro did the exact same thing. It was a first pitch strike. Didn't want Rivera to get ahead of him. Took care of it.
Strike 3. So Ichiro goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. No, you're right. The first 2 young hitters. I mean, Rivera went cutter, inside, and then away, strike 3.
But the biggest thing about that, though, is again, it's the experience of Sweeney and Ichiro having been in the league and faced him a number of times. You go back and you look at it, probably the first pitch to both of those other guys they were probably on the plate, and then he started working on the edges, or if not off the plate, and that's when you're in trouble. You're in big trouble at that point. And Mike Sweeney and Ichiro didn't let him get to that point. Just didn't.
It's part of the maturation process.
Absolutely. That's why you have to go through it.
Facing.
Well, that's why you have to go through it. You know, there's only one way to figure things out, and that's to stand in there, good or bad, whatever happens, but learn something from it and move forward.
Oh, this is why this guy is so great. Franklin Gutierrez 0-1 the count. Up and away, ball one, 1 ball and 1 strike. This guy's pretty good.
Yeah, he's doing okay.
Karsten Charles, CC Sabathia, 17-7. How about his rookie year in 2001 with the Indians? He won 17 games. He was 17-5. Line right back at Sabathia. That hit him. The ball ricochets out to A-Rod, and that got him in his face, off his face. Sabathia being looked at by his teammates. The trainer Steve Donahue out of the dugout along with manager Joe Girardi.
Gutierrez pointing to his chest.
Got him up on his chest. Here's a look at it one more time.
That's how quickly it can get you. That is scary. Looks like the big man is okay. Comes right back. See if it hits him right in the chest.
Oh,
very, very fortunate. Scary.
Right below his face, right below his chin, off the upper part of his chest. Sabathia says he's okay. Here it is in real time. Gutierrez at first. Tough kid, Mike.
Take a look and see if it bothers him at all now, having to go back up on the mound and start throwing some more strikes.
1 on and 2 outs for first baseman Jose Lopez. Down and in, ball 1. Now through the years we have seen some scary sights with line drives right back at pitchers, and Sabathia, Mike, just didn't have time to get his glove up for self-defense.
So many times, Rick, you see pitchers when ball goes by him into center field and you see their glove and it looks like, you know, they just missed it. You go back and you see a side replay, the ball is so far past them, by the time their glove gets up, they had no chance. That's how fast. I mean, you know, he's throwing, I don't know, 93, 94 miles an hour. That thing's coming back at him over 100. And he's not in a good position to even try to protect himself. It's dangerous.
He's not 60 feet 6 inches away anymore either.
No.
With that follow through. Jose Lopez 0 for 2. Swing and a miss, and there's that off-speed pitch that Sabathia has thrown very successfully.
I was saying earlier, Rick, that he's had a terrific changeup tonight, and I think for me, for the amount of times I've seen him pitch, I think he's throwing his changeup more tonight than I've seen in the past. He's typically a fastball slider guy, mixing in his changeup. He's gone to that pitch a lot tonight. And Cervelli, the young catcher back there, I'm sure they've talked about it. He says, listen, you have a good one going, keep throwing it, keep throwing it, keep throwing it, because it's working for him.
Is that something that he possibly had in his previous start, or did they take a look at the videotapes of theirs and say, okay, this is the way we're going to try to attack these guys?
Maybe both. Maybe both, Rick, but I think the bottom line is this ground ball gets hit to third. It's fair ball.
A-Rod off balance throw first, and it skips on by Teixeira. Around to third, Gutierrez. Lopez to second. Franklin running through the stop sign, the throw to the plate. Not in time, and it gets over the head of Cervelli. Franklin Gutierrez scores, and the Mariners are on the board. On that little bouncing ball along the third base line, Alex Rodriguez throw getting by Teixeira, and it's now the Yankees 6 and the Mariners 1, and then finally the Mariners hit the old pay station.
We'll take a look at it. Lopez out in front of this pitch, just chopped it down the third. Alex with plenty of time throws a sinker, a nasty one, hits right on the cut of the grass. Franklin Gutierrez coming all the way around and scoring on the play. So the Mariners get on the scoreboard.
Good hustle by Franklin Gutierrez, and it's 6-1 New York. And Lopez winds up down at second base on the throwing error by Alex Rodriguez. 2 outs, and here's Mike Sweeney. Way outside, ball 1. Mariners have had some previous chances, but couldn't cash in the second or the third, trying to add another run here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs. Sweeney 1 for 2 and an infield base hit in the 3rd inning. And Mike had a big smile on his face, Mike, because he doesn't get too many infield base hits.
No, he usually has to earn them. They're going to have to get to some outfield grass for him to get a hit.
Yeah. Time is called. Cervelli, the young catcher, heads out to have a talk with CC Sabathia.
Getting back to what you were talking about, though, Rick, as far as his changeup goes tonight, I think it's probably a combination of the two things you were talking about. But that being said, sometimes you have a pitch, and if it's your second, third, or fourth best pitch on a particular night, you may not have a good breaking ball. So you try that one, and that one's working for you. And so you stay with it on that night. Now, will he do that all the time? Probably not.
Sweeney pops one up foul, first base side near the seats, over to Shera. And reaches into the crowd. Does he make the catch? And yes, he does. Teixeira reaches in near the rolled up Tart into the front row, and he comes away with a baseball, and that is out number 3. Well, the Mariners get a run on the air by Alex Rodriguez, and after 5 innings of play, Yankees lead 6-1.
FSN is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, bringing you Frank TV's Funny Man Frank Caliendo October 2nd. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com.
It's now the Yankees 6 and the Mariners 1, top of the 6th inning tonight from Safeco Field. Temperature cooling off. The roof is now closed. The game time temperature at the start of the ball game, 60 degrees. A little cooler than that, seems like. Lefty Jason Vargas will lead things on, or rather face the leadoff batter, Robinson Cano, followed by Melky Cabrera, and then Francisco Cervelli. Vargas came on and got the final, well, the 3 outs in the 5th inning for Doug Fister. That's well hit. Right center field. Ichiro going back to the 1-inning track. And this one is off the top of the wall. The throw in by Ichiro, but in at second base, Robinson Cano with a leadoff double. Now it's time for the Coors Light freeze frame.
Well, looks like it hits right off the top of the fence, Rick. Take a look at it. Right on the top line of the fence.
Like the Yankees have 2 home runs tonight. They also have had 2 shots off the top of the wall.
You know, I was just thinking too, you look at their lineup, and both of us, we've talked about it. We both appreciate the work of Robinson Cano and what a great player he's going to be throughout his career. He's just terrific. But this is a guy that has 6th and 7th in their lineup.
Yeah.
You know, he's in 320 with 23 homers.
That's a lot of pop from the bottom third.
You know, it's, again, what it is you take a look at the doubles. Robinson Cano with 44 doubles. But again, it's one of those things as a pitcher, you just really have to be on top of it. No breaks. No breaks in the lineup.
Not at all. 1 through 9. Here's center fielder Melky Cabrera.
And I think for me, that's what makes the performance by Felix Hernandez last night just so terrific. He was 1 earned run, pitches a complete game, 9 innings. I mean,
against this offense,
Ichiro's home run, it was terrific. It was great for the club, but I was so happy for Felix. Because you could tell, I mean, for me, his body language in that game last night, he wanted to win the game, and he was competing as hard as I've seen him. It was just an outstanding performance, and I think that, at least my hope is that because he did that against the Yankees, And with all the publicity going back east, that maybe that puts him out in front or close to it in the Cy Young voting, because he certainly looked like it last night.
His ERA going into last night's game. Big swing and a miss by Cabrera for strike 3. Lost his balance on the follow through, and 1 out for the Yankees here in the 6th inning.
Take a look at the swing by Cabrera. Just completely fooled on the pitch. That was by him. He just tried to catch up to it and couldn't do it.
But just an outstanding performance last night by Felix Hernandez. He went into last night's game with a 2.54 ERA, and now it's down to 2.42. That's tough to do.
It is tough to do this time of the year with the amount of innings. 216 innings under his belt now, so it's not going to move a lot. You have to do something pretty special to have it drop like that, and I think last night was one of them.
Francisco Cervelli takes inside for ball 1. I was talking with Ken Singleton before the game, who played in the big leagues for a long time, as you know, with the Expos and other clubs. And
terrific hitter.
Very good hitter. Now the voice on television for the Yankees, and he asked me if they'd taken the gloves off of Felix. I said yes, they have. They're letting him go. Inside with a breaking ball, ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes. And the thing about Felix last night, Mike, was that he was only at 91 pitches through 8 innings. So Don said, you better believe it, you're going to go out there tonight.
Well, and I think that's been the biggest change that you see, is now he expects to do that. He wants to do that because he knows that if he's on his game, he's going to get the opportunity. You know, you look at the other night, I want to get excited about somebody else, Ryan Roland Smith, and the job that he did, and the fact that after the 7th inning, Don put him back out there in the 8th, and that's all Ryan talked about after the game, or most of it, was the fact that Don trusted him enough to put him back out there in the 8th inning.
And he was at 105 pitches after 7.
Yeah, let him go.
Big, strong guy.
Throwing the ball well.
And it's so important to, at times, get into that 8th and 9th inning. There he is, the lefty Ryan Roland Smith, who picked up his 4th win of the year with a 4-1 win over the White Sox. That was on Wednesday night. Beat Gavin Floyd. That's well hit left field. Hall going back, and this one is going to be off the top of the wall. Cano's going to score. In at second. The throw to second, and out at second base. Cervelli. Holy smokes, what a throw by Bill Hall. Off the wall. Hall's throw on the money to Matuyasasopo. But the Yankees now lead 7-1.
Take a look at it. This ball hits right in the middle of the fence. Nice play by Hall. Fields it perfectly, gets himself a nice 2-hopper, and then fires a strike into second base. Matt Tuiasosopo putting the tag down. Nice play.
What a throw by Bill Hall, playing the carom off the wall. So 2 outs in the inning, 1 run in. Derek Jeter, the Yankee captain, is up there. First run that Vargas has given up in relief, fouled out of play, and the count is 0-1. Well, not too many guys have been as consistent throughout their careers as this guy right here.
You know what you're going to get every day, right?
Yeah. Solid at bat every time up there. Grinds out every at bat.
Yeah, I mean he's been very consistent, and he certainly has made his name in the postseason. I don't think there's any question about that.
Him and Rivera. Mariano's great during the regular season. Superstar in the postseason. Some guys are just better. Get better on that next stage. Low to Jeter, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Now with more hits than any Yankee in history, Derek Jeter 1 for 3 tonight. Singled in the 5th, scored a run. Now has 2,731 base hits, and Mike, no question, he'll have 3,000 plus.
Oh, no question at all.
Those are the numbers for his postseason career. Hitting over 300, 17 home runs in the postseason, and almost 50 runs batted in. Look at that, 123 games in the postseason. Chopper wide of third, but Beltre is there, fires across in time to get Jeter, and that is out number 3. But the Yankees add another run, and we go to the bottom half of the 6th here at Safeco Field. Our score: the Yankees 7 and the Mariners 1. This calendar brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Mike, the season really winding down. One more game tomorrow afternoon against the Yankees. Then the final road trip of the year, 2 to Tampa Bay, and then 4 in Toronto. Then it's back home, the final homestand against Oakland and against Texas. 13 games left.
When you're traveling, Rick, do you like to unpack your bags, or do you pretty much live out of the bag as you go along?
I like to unpack. As soon as my suitcase gets there, I unpack.
Will you unpack in Tampa, or will you have the next uni on top? So, because you're going to be there for such a short time.
2 days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to get in and out of there.
Yeah. No, I'll unpack. I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah,
so
I like to unpack.
I like to get the shirts unwrinkled and hanging up in the closet. Here's third baseman Adrian Beltre. Sabathia has gone all the way, and he delivers outside. Ball 1. What about you?
I like to unpack. Yeah.
Beltre 1 for 2 with a double. You can have a good system when you travel. You really do. Outside ball 2. 2 balls. And no strikes to count. Yeah. You don't have to wait for your bag. You're ready to go right to bed.
I mean, so many times that the guys, they get in. I mean, on this last trip, think about it. We have
5 in the morning.
A couple of different times. And typically, what would you say, Rick, for the luggage to get up to the room? You're going to wait another 45 minutes? At least maybe an hour. So at that point, I'm ready to go. So I just pack the jammies and the toothbrush right there with me on my carry bag.
That's the word I wanted to hear. Wanted to jammy up, go to bed. It's a great idea. The bag will get up there in the morning.
Yeah, it'll be there.
3-1 the count.
I mean, but that goes back from playing, Rick. You know, it's the same thing. You just, so many times, especially here in Seattle, the guys have to travel a lot more than anybody else, and sometimes you're going to get in really late, and it's tough to get that sleep.
In the air, out of play, right field side into the crowd. Nice crowd tonight, over 42,000 fans for game 2 of this 3-game series. And Mike, I think with the way that the game ended, how the Mariners won that game last night, a lot of folks wanted to come out and see this ball game between the Mariners and the Yankees.
Great sports day here in Seattle. The University of Washington having USC in town, and then come on over and watch the Mariners. It's a terrific day.
Sounders played
earlier today. Yeah.
3-2. And a swing and a miss. There's that changeup again from Sabathia. Strike 3. 1 out for the Mariners, bottom half of the 6th. Well, a smoother, quieter, greener way to travel. Right Sound Transit's linked light rail from Tukwila to Seattle with 10 stops along the way. Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers. Our associate director up here in the booth is Robbie Nielsen. Robbie's been around since I think the television camera was invented, Mike. And there's Bubba, our sound guy, and Chris, our stat guy up here. Catcher Kenji Judgment down there, and he takes blown inside ball 1.
Yeah, you need to be nice to Robbie today. He's worked all day. He was across the street before he came over here.
Good soccer, Robbie. He shoots, he scores, and they didn't. It was a 0-0 tie, huh? They're doing well, though. Good luck to the Sounders. Swing and a miss. There it is again, Mike.
Great.
Wow.
Yeah. Great off-speed pitches out of Sabathia today. That was another one. You see Kenji completely fooled on that pitch.
0-2 on Jojima. Fouled away on the right field side of the count is still 0-2. Who had the best changeup that you faced?
Best changeup, probably Jimmy Key.
He had a good one. Yeah. Santana, Johan Santana.
Didn't face it
an outstanding changeup.
Still does.
Yeah, the 0-2. 2 hop to third baseman Alex Rodriguez. A little skip hop and a throw over to first, and it's in time to get Kenji for the second out of the inning. Mariners with only the 1 run tonight trail 7-0. Say later tonight, Seahawks All Access breaks down Seattle's upcoming clash with Frank Gore and the San Francisco 49ers. Warren Moon goes one-on-one with Julius Jones to get his take on the Week 2 matchup, and former Hawk fullback Mac Jones gives us his keys to a Seattle victory. That and more tonight at 10:30 on Seahawks All Access. Mac Jones was one of my favorite Seahawk players for years. Fullback, I mean, plowed the way for the running backs. Mac Strong. found a way for the running backs.
I was always amazed at how long he played. Those guys, the fullbacks and the linebackers, those guys are taking a beating on every single play, and I was surprised how long. I mean, not many guys can hang around and do that job for as long as he did.
What I like about Max Strong. Here's a pitch outside of Bill Hall, outside ball one. He was a Pro Bowler late in his career. Finally got the recognition that he deserved. Hall is 0 for 2 tonight. He is fanned and also grounded out to Cano at second base. Outside again, ball 2, 2-0. Sabathia with the Indians and the Brewers last year. With Cleveland 6-8, and then went to Milwaukee, was 11-2, and helped the Brewers get to the postseason as the wild card winner in the National League. 11-2 with a 1.65 ERA. Popped up. Right field coming in and over is Swisher toward the line. Nicky's there, and he makes a catch for out number 3. What a night for C.C. Sabathia. And after 6 innings of play, the Yankees lead 7-1. Licensed, Ichiro 9 consecutive 200-hit season, full-size photo bat. The bat measures 34 inches and is a 360-degree image of Ichiro around the barrel of the bat. The bat has the words 9 consecutive 200-hit seasons and is limited to 5,000 individually numbered bats. Call BigTimeBats.com at 1-866-280-BATS. The bat sells for $129.95 plus shipping. You can see the official Ichiro all-time consecutive 200-hit bat at www.bigtimebats.com or call 1-866-280-BATS. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee. Ichiro setting the record about a week ago with that 200th hit against the Rangers down in Texas. 9 consecutive years. Randy Messenger, the new pitcher, and leading things off, Johnny Damon, who's been mighty tough in this series against the Mariners, and he takes a strike on 1. So here's Messenger. Randy was a closer this year down at Tacoma, bouncing ball foul on the other side of the bag at first, and it's 0-2 on Damon.
Damon 6 for 7 in the series so far.
3 for 3 tonight, Mike, with a couple of singles, a double. He had 3 hits last night, 2 doubles last night. Chopper wide of the mound out near second base, backhanded by Tui, off balance, thrown, he got him. Holy smokes, Tui's doing a heck of a job defensively at second base in his second game since coming up from Tacoma. 1 out for the Yankees.
Well, he grew up as a shortstop and then moved over to third. Take a look at him, and one thing that everybody knew of him coming out of high school is a terrific athlete. Nice play. That's hard to do. You know, when you spend so much time on the left side of the diamond, and then all of a sudden you're thrown over to the right. Those little things, throwing back across your body and being accurate, are tough.
Art Teixeira shatters his bat, sawdust all over the place as he singles down the right field line. Teixeira on at first base. Man, nothing but shards of wood after he hit that pitch. His third base hit. Watch this.
Shatters his bat right off of his thumbs. He is now a double away from hitting for the cycle.
So there's the single, had the home run in the fifth, and a triple off the top of the wall, and a great attempt by Gutierrez back in the first inning. And here's A-Rod. 1 on, 1 away. The Yankees lead 7-1. 6 of their 11 base hits have been for extra bases. 2 home runs, 3 doubles, and a triple. A-Rod is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to Beltre at third. Lined out to Matt Tuiasosopo. Diving catch to his right. Turned that into a 4-assisted double play. And he walked in the fifth. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Randy Messenger taking over from Jason Vargas, who went 2 innings, gave up 1 run and 2 hits, no walks, struck out a couple. Doug Fister started, went 4+. Ball 2, 2-1. Yankees the best record in the major leagues, but on May the 14th, month and a half into the season, they were 500, 17-17. Fly ball lifted into right field. He threw it back just a few steps, gets underneath it. 2 outs. Back to first goes Teixeira. Well, tomorrow on Mariners All Access, we'll go 1-on-1 with Seattle lefty Ryan Rowland-Smith. Get the latest tricks of the trade with pitcher Jason Vargas, and preview the club's upcoming road trip. That and more tomorrow at noon on Mariners All Access. Final road trip of the year coming up. Take off on Monday, a travel day. 2 in Tampa Bay and then 4 in Toronto. Here's designated hitter Hideki Matsui. Outside, ball 1. That'll make it a strike. 0-1 the count. Tracer shows it just a little bit outside.
Doesn't matter. Mr. Riley's going to decide.
Might call it a strike. Now it's 0-2 on Matsui. Hideki with a home run leading off the top half of the 4th inning. His 26th home run of the year. That's a Yankee record, the most by a Yankee DH. Don Baylor hit 25 home runs back in 1984 with the Yankees. Strike 3 called. So Randy Messenger strikes out Matsui looking. No runs, a hit for the Yankees, and 1 man left on. 7th inning stretch time after 6.5. Our score, the Yankees 7 and the Mariners 1. Money Tree, providing immediate cash for your business is our business. Apply for a business loan at moneytreeinc.com. By Metropolitan Appliance, the only appliance store you'll ever need. Now open Sundays. And by Taco Del Mar, home of the $4.99 Mondo Burrito. Nice crowd tonight, 43,173. Some of the folks bundled up in blankets. Game time temperature was 60 degrees. Game 2 of the series, Yankees lead by a score of 7-1. Matt Tuiasosopo leads it off against Sabathia. Inside, ball 1. Tui turning down a chance a few years ago to play football at the University of Washington. Signed with the Mariners back in the draft about 4 or 5 years ago. And the dirt. It's away from the catcher. Cervelli, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Because of signing free agents, the Mariners didn't have their first pick until the 3rd round that year. And Tui was like the 83rd pick by the Mariners.
The only reason why he was the 83rd pick by the Mariners because a lot of other clubs thought he was going to play football at the University of Washington. And they passed on him.
Still available. But that was the first pick for the Mariners in that draft. 2-1 on 2. Right-hander Carlos Silva. Appointment up down to the bullpen. We haven't seen Carlos in a long time, out with a bad shoulder early in the season. That was May 6th, his last appearance against the Kansas City Royals. Now working out of the bullpen here at the tail end of the season. Carlos Silva down in the pen. Made a few appearances on a rehab assignment down at Tacoma. Two and 2 on Matt Tuiasosopo. Strike 3 called. Got him looking on a breaking ball. 1 out for the Mariners, bottom of the 7th inning. 8 strikeouts for CC Sabathia. Mariners and the Yankees wind down the series tomorrow afternoon. It'll be Ian Snell, Mike against Java Chamberlain.
See how Ian fares tomorrow. He's going to have a bit of a challenge with the Yankees. Pretty patient club. Chamberlain, as everybody knows, throws hard. So the guys have to turn it up a notch on the bats.
Shortstop Josh Wilson with the foul back 0-1. So come on by the ballpark. Game time is 1:10 tomorrow. And it's on the road on Monday. Mariners need to go 5-9 the rest of the way to try to get that 82nd win, Mike, to guarantee a winning season. The Mariners have had 4 losing seasons out of the last 5 years. Last winning season was just 2 years ago in 07. A strike on Wilson, and the count is 0-2.
And I think at this point that's a terrific goal to try to get to, Rick, after the struggles the club had last year. Certainly a lot of things to be optimistic about as you move forward. And I think having a winning season is a pretty big deal, really.
Very, very important for this club. Way inside and low on Wilson for ball 1, 1 and 2. It's been the biggest turnaround in baseball, the Mariners season, from last year to this year.
A lot of guys have worked awfully hard this year, Rick. That would be a nice reward for them to have a winning season.
Mariners on top of that list, followed by the Rockies, the Giants, Atlantic, and the Yankees on that list. Most improved clubs from last year to this year. Swinging a foul back by Josh, and the count is still 1-2.
And I mean everybody, from everybody in the front office to the work that they started to do back in October of last year. All the new hires, including the manager and his coaching staff, general manager, all those different people putting all this together. There's definitely some things to be optimistic about as this club moves forward.
People are excited about what happened this year and how it happened, and Jack Srensik, the confidence and trust they have in Jack. There's a look at Jack Srensik on your left, and the director of amateur scouting on your right, Tom McNamara, who's in charge of the amateur draft. Tom's dad is also here, Jack, from Pearl River, New York. So I tell you what, there's a lot of confidence and trust in these guys and what they're doing in the front office.
I think so far. It's early. It's their first year getting through it, but they've earned it. They've done a terrific job. I don't know. You look at it.
Back up the middle. Backhanded by Cano. Balance through to first. What a play. Nice play by Robinson Cano to retire Josh Wilson at first base. 2 outs in the inning.
Well, we've talked about he's a terrific player. You look at all the superstars on this team, but this guy right here can do everything. Really good defender, really good around the bag. We already talked about what a terrific hitter he is. Just a really, really good player.
Had to go way to his right, and Mike, that throw was right on the money to Mark Teixeira.
That's the way you used to do it when you were with the Salutes.
That's why I'm up here. Here's Ichiro, who had a base hit back in the 30s. 1 for 2 tonight. Up and in, ball 1. Ichiro hasn't been held hitless in back-to-back games. In 174 ball games. And Ichiro tonight has tied another major league record, set by Stan Musial. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Jeter. Long throw to first, and he got him. What a play by Jeter. 1, 2, 3. The Mariners in the bottom of the 7th. We go to the top of the 8th. It's the Yankees 7 and the Mariners 1.
Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The tracer system uses 3 cameras to track every pitch. With this tracking information, we can show you where the ball crosses the front plane of the plate. Our system is accurate to within 1 inch. We then take this data and convert it to our EQC tracer graphic.
Yankees lead by a score of 7-1 as we head to the top half of the 8th inning. A guy we haven't seen in a long time will take over in relief. Veteran right-hander Carlos Silva's been on the DL since early in the season. Will work the top half of the 8th inning. His numbers on the year, Mike: 6 starts, 1-3 record, and that high ERA 8.48. And he hasn't pitched in a ball game since May the 6th. That would have been shoulder.
Yeah, I think they just want to give him a chance to get a little bit of work in before he goes into the winter. Not sure what his plans are for that, but the organization is going to give him some innings out of the bullpen.
So Silva takes over here in the 8th inning, and he'll face Nick Swisher, Robinson Cano, and Melky Cabrera. Yankees 7 runs on 12 hits, a couple of home runs. Mariners 1 run and just 4 hits tonight off of C.C. Sabathia. 0-1. $43,173 tonight. On a play down the left field side, and it's 0-2 on Swisher. Carlos, his 2nd year with the ball club. The 0-2. Fastball misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick, a switch hitters, numbers from the left side and the right side.
Pretty consistent, very consistent, both sides of the plate.
Down the left field line, foul ball. Nice pickup by the Mariners ball girl. And it's still 1-2 on Swisher. One of the most consistent switch hitters I've seen down through the years, Mike, was Eddie Murray of the Baltimore Orioles. His numbers were just right on for both sides of the plate.
Hard to do. You don't find that very often.
Usually a guy's better from one side than the other.
I don't know what the numbers are, but just kind of thinking back and assuming this, I would say that Robbie Alomar was pretty good from both sides of the plate.
Two and 2. You talk to a lot of switch hitters, and some will tell you that, hey, I'm a different hitter from one side of the plate than the other.
That was the one thing about Eddie Murray. He looked like he had the same stance on both sides of the plate.
He wasn't different.
Right.
One of the few. Ground ball is short. Up with the ball is Josh Wilson. 1 away for the Yankees here in the top half of the 8th. So Carlos Silva takes care of the first batter he faces. Let's take a look at our Quest high-speed pitch. CC Sabathia throwing 97 tonight. Doug Fister threw 91. Sabathia has gone all the way. 7 innings, given up the 1 run and just 4 hits. Here's second baseman Robinson Cano, made a nice play in the bottom of the 7th inning.
2 for 3 with a couple of doubles. He scored a run.
Now there's 191 hits for the year. Fly ball left field toward the line. On the run, Bill Hall dives and it's off his glove. Cano heading for second with his 3rd double tonight. Bill Hall is bothered by that sore right quad. He landed hard on his chest as he dove for that ball, so he's still not 100%.
No, he's not showing the speed that we've seen from him. Clearly the quad is still bothering him. Nice effort though as he dives for this. So he goes right off the edge of his glove. Hit hard on his chest though.
So Cano on at second base with 1 out. Yankees lead 7-1, top of the 8th.
His 3rd double of the game.
Melky Cabrera swings and fouls one back and out of play. 0-1. In this series, you have the number 1, 2, and 3 guys in the American League with the most hits in the league. Ichiro has over 200. You have Derek Jeter, who is number 2 with 196 hits, and then Robinson Cano is 3rd with 191. 1-1 on Cabrera. Ichiro with a hit tonight now has 210. 1-2. Out of play on the left field side. Still the ball and 2 strikes. Cabrera, who's 0 for 3, has grounded out to 2. He had second, flied out to Hall in left field. And Jason Vargas struck him out in the 6th inning. Fouled away, still 1-2. Story last night, the comeback win over the Yankees. Ichiro with that game-winning hit bottom of the 9th inning. Felix Hernandez, the complete game victory, his 16th win of the year. The Mariners beat the best closer on the planet, Mariano Rivera. Inside, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blow, what was it like facing Mr. Rivera back then?
It wasn't a lot of fun, like a lot of guys will say. This is good. I think for the Mariners, one guy I think had success against him was Edgar. Everybody else I think struggled off of him. There's nothing unusual about that when you look at his overall numbers.
Unbelievable numbers throughout the years, especially his numbers in postseason play. Started off as a starter, then went to the bullpen. He was setting up for John Wetman back in 1995. Line drive, base hit down the right field side. Cano running third, heading home. Up with the ball is Ichiro. The throw will go to second base to keep Cabrera to an RBI single, and the Yankees lead 8-1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Seattle Mariners. 1 run in, 1 on, 1 out, top of the 8th, 8-1 Yankees. And here is catcher Francisco Cervelli. Cervelli with 2 hits and a run batted in the 6th inning. Mariners have had the walk-off wins the last 2 games. The Yankees on Wednesday at home had a walk-off win against the Blue Jays, winning 5-4. Cervelli had the game-winning hit. Line drive, caught in third by Beltre. Right off his shoe tops, and 2 outs for the Yankees here in the 8th. Throws a rope right to Adrian. Brings up Derek Jeter. Jeter 1 for 4, singled, scored a run in the 5th inning. That's when the Yankees came up with 4 of their 8 runs. They got 4 runs without a hit, without an out being recorded. Mark Teixeira hit a 3-run home run. Damon had an RBI single. Outside, ball 1. Silva on in relief. Fister, Vargas, Messenger, and now Carlos Silva. Up and in, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. For the first time, Derek Jeter and the Yankees didn't go to the playoffs last year. The first time in 16 seasons they didn't get to the playoffs. Going back to 1993. On a play down the right field side, 2-1. Derek.
Do you remember when he first showed up?
Yeah.
I remember when the first time I saw him play, I believe was in the Kingdom against us, and everybody first round pick all of a sudden stuff. And watching him, I thought, he's okay. I think he's one of those guys, Rick, where you have to watch him every day, the way he goes about his business. And obviously people have gotten a big dose of that because of the postseason and the things that he's done there. As far as the regular season, you watch him every day, you get a greater appreciation of the type of player that he is. He does so many little things to help. He's a winner. He just wins.
No one will ever forget the play he made defensively in 2001 against the Oakland A's on the throw to the plate. Jeremy Giambi tried to score.
I don't even know what he was doing there to make the play.
He's on the first base line. Runner goes, and a swing and a foul back on the 3-2 pitch. Taken off was Cabrera. He's by the first base line, right across the infield, got to it. Backhand flip to the plate to get Giambi. Jeremy Giambi, who tried to score standing up.
You know what else I would put in that category that you and I got to watch every day? Edgar Martinez.
Yeah.
I think you have to watch the man go about his business every day to really appreciate. I mean, you can look at his numbers at the end of the year, terrific.
Yeah.
But you get a chance to watch him every day, you really understand just how good Edgar was.
Because, like you said, you appreciate all the little things that he does. Even his preparation, knowing what the pitcher's going to throw before the pitcher knows that he's going to throw it. Runner goes 3-2. Fouled away again by Jeter. Another guy like that for me, Mike, was I knew he was good, but I didn't know how good he was until he came over here and I had a chance to see him play every day. Was John Olerud.
Terrific.
How good he was defensively.
Very good defender. Pretty consistent.
Yep.
The fastball right there.
Staying with the fastball to Jeter. On a play again. On another 92-mile-an-hour fastball, still 3-2 on Derek.
I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, there's certain guys that just jump out at you. Ken Griffey Jr. Just jumps out there. He's terrific. Yeah, just terrific. You can see him one time and know that.
Yeah.
And other guys, you know, you have to get an appreciation for the way they go about their business.
And it's down and away for ball 4. So Derek Jeter with the walk, and the Yankees have runners at first and second with 2 outs. They lead 8-1 here in the top of the 8th. And here comes manager Don Wakamatsu out of the dugout. There's activity down in the bullpen.
I think it's going to be Luke French.
So Luke French, the left-hander, will come in to face a left-handed bat of Johnny Damon. 8-1 New York. We're going to be back after this timeout. Youngsters 14 and under will be eligible for great prizes, including the Mariner Moose birthday party at Safeco Field, a Fender guitar, autographed jerseys, and more. Plus, all kids will take home a Moose poster courtesy of Ivers and Kid Valley. For tickets, visit mariners.com. The new pitcher for the Mariners will be lefty Luke French, making his first appearance out of the bullpen since coming over from Detroit. He's made 7 starts. Came over in that deal for Jared Washburn. The Yankees have Cabrera on at second, Jeter on at first base with 2 outs and a run in, and lead it 8-1.
See what his numbers are. 41 strikeouts, 28 walks. It's interesting to see how he does coming out of the pen. Young man's been a starter, and you get used to that role, so this is a little bit different coming in, and all of a sudden you have guys on base. You have to throw strikes right away.
And this is Shelley Duncan to pinch hit for Johnny Damon. So Duncan, the pinch hitter for Damon. Son of Dave Duncan, the pitching coach for the St. Louis Cardinals and former Major League catcher. Outside, ball 1 on Duncan. On deck is Mark Teixeira. You don't see too many former catchers who are pitching coaches, but it's worked very well for Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Well hit, but pulled foul off the bat of Duncan. Out of play. The count is even on Shelley at 1 ball and 1 strike. Cabrera on at second, Derek Jeter on at first base. 2 outs, 1 run in here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Good changeup. 1 and 2 on Duncan. Mike, at this point of the season, was number of call-ups from the minor leagues, managers have a lot of options late in the ball game.
Yeah, a lot of times you get into games that are a little bit lopsided like this one. You're going to see some of the other guys get a chance to do some things.
2 on 2 outs. And a swing and a miss and another changeup for strike 3. Nice job by Luke French to get that final out here in the 8th inning. But the Yankees tack on one more. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 8-1. The left-hander C.C. Sabathia, 1 tonight for Mr. Sabathia.
Overall tonight, I mean, we're so used to seeing him being more of a power pitcher, but tonight he really showed another side of himself, and that was a lot of changeups tonight. Still had the good fastball at times, but a lot more changeups, and you can see why. He's a guy looking to go for his 18th win. Did a really nice job tonight. Just 1 unearned run for him, only 4 hits allowed.
Takes his line drive right off the top of his chest by Franklin Gutierrez in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Stays in the game. He goes 7 innings tonight. Wicked line drive. But he gave up only 1 run tonight. It was an unearned run back in that 5th inning on the throw in there by Alex Rodriguez that allowed Gutierrez to score on the play. So the new pitcher, Brian Bruni, delivers, and it's a strike on Gutierrez, leading off the bottom of the 8th. So this is Brian Bruni. Fly ball straightaway center field and shallow coming in. Gardner dives and he traps the ball. Brett Gardner, the new center fielder, came flying in and almost made an incredible catch.
It was a nice effort. See him come in, the ball a short hop and go into his glove. Chuck Merriweather, or Laz Diaz, excuse me, the second base umpire tonight, was out making the call.
Look at that effort by Gardner, but he came up short. So Gardner, the new center fielder. Cabrera was in center. He's now in left field. So some defensive changes for the Yankees. Jose Lopez with a towering pop-up out of play in the left field side. Man, that one almost hit a beam up there. Holds up the roof. We have a new shortstop, Ramiro Pena. Pena is the new shortstop. Jerry Hairston is the new third baseman. So Pena at short, Hairston at third, Gardner in center, Cabrera in left. Bruni, the new pitcher. 0-2 on Jose. Lopez will reach safely on that error in the 5th. That's the only run off of Sabathia tonight. Down and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down and away, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gutierrez is lead at first base. Swing and a miss for strike 3. 1 out for the Mariners. Bottom of the 8th with 1 man aboard. 8-1 Yankees. They have 8 runs on 14 base hits and a couple of home runs. Here's Mike Sweeney. And how about this score this afternoon at Husky Stadium? Washington, University of Washington over USC. 3rd-ranked Trojans. The Huskies win at 16-13. The Cougars in overtime beat SMU 30-27. Cincinnati leading Oregon State 28-8, or rather that's a final 28-18. Oregon beating Utah 31-24, snapping Utah's 15-game winning streak. And look at Idaho with a win 34-20 over San Diego State.
Did you get a chance to watch any football today?
Yeah, I watched that Huskies win. Sweeney with a line drive into the gap in left center field for a base hit. Gutierrez to third. The throw to second base by Gardner will keep Mike Sweeney to a single. So the Mariners have runners at first and third with 1 out. Jake Locker was outstanding this afternoon in that final drive for the Huskies, getting them down within field goal position. Here's a look at that swing by Sweeney.
Been a hot hitter here in September. Done a nice job for the Mariners. A couple more hits again for him tonight. I didn't get to see any of that football game.
Oh, it was a lot of fun to watch. What a comeback by the Huskies. Shocking USC. Third baseman Adrian Beltre with 2 on and 1 away. Locker, just a great athlete, Mike. He was drafted this year by the Angels. Down and away, good stop by Cervelli, the catcher. Ball 2, 2-0 on Beltre. Mariners 1 run on only 6 hits. Up in the air and out of play on the first base side. 2-1. Mariners and the Yankees tomorrow afternoon. Game time 1:10. Final game of the series in the homestand. Ian Snell against Jabba Chamberlain. Bounce foul at the first base side, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. No question this ball club is poised for the offseason, Mike. They're 40 games over 500, the best record in baseball at 94 and 54. Strong throughout the lineup, the starting pitching. You've got Mariano out there.
Hughes has done a nice job setting up for Mariano.
It's been incredible. And that 8th inning was a starter earlier this year. Swing and a miss by Beltre. Went after a pitch up and in for strike 3. 2 strikeouts for Brian Bruni. 2 outs for the Mariners. Bottom of the 8th. And here's a look at that matchup coming up tomorrow, Mike.
See Chamberlain, ERA of 4.39. Going to be throwing hard tomorrow. He'll be in the mid-90s. Then Ian Snell, he can rush it up there at times. Seen him throw 95 miles an hour.
Here's a look at Jabba Chamberlain out of Lincoln, Nebraska. alongside A-Rod. Kenji Joseph up there. 2 on, 2 outs. Ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Only a chance to get in some work. And it's down low. Ball 3. 3-0. I'll make it a strike. 2-1. Sometimes tough to see Mike's call. He just kind of punches his right arm. And Mike Riley, the home plate umpire. Fly ball, left field, little toward the line. On the run is Melky Cabrera. Now he's there and makes the catch for out number 3. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on. We go to the top half of the 9th. Our score: Yankees 8 and the Mariners 1. Top half of the 9th inning. Say, catch all of the action of the 2009 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins on October the 7th with the Division Series on TBS. Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers. Top of the 9th inning. 8-1 Yankees defensive change. Michael Saunders takes over in left field.
Good idea. Bill Hall's been trying to play as that quad problem. So probably a good idea to get him out of the game, give him a chance to get some treatment. Especially with coming back with a day game tomorrow, Rick.
So Bill Hall out of the ball game and Saunders takes over. Leading things off will be first baseman Mark Teixeira. Mike talking about the postseason.
Yes.
Ball club in the American League that can beat the Yankees right now?
Yes. I think Boston can. I think either Detroit or Minnesota can. The Angels. I think they can all beat them.
Well, once you get there, you got to have the pitching. You got to have those 1-2 guys, games 1 and 2, and then come back and do it again.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And you better be really strong at the back end of your bullpen. So,
and you better be able to figure out how to score some runs instead of slug. I mean, you got to be able to put the ball in play, move some runners along, because when you get the great pitching like that, you got to figure out how to manufacture some runs.
Well, you do. I think maybe that's where the Yankees have a bit of an advantage because of their new ballpark.
Well hit left center field by Teixeira, and it's gone. Goodbye baseball. Mark Teixeira, 1 home run from the left side, this one from the right side. Home runs by Teixeira from both sides of the plate tonight, and the Yankees lead it 9-1.
He has been a one-man wrecking crew tonight. 5 RBIs in the game for Teixeira. Take a look at it. 2 homers and a triple in the game. He needed a double for the cycle in the game, but he went ahead and got a couple more bases tacked onto it for the home run. Wow.
He is home run left-handed off the starter Doug Fister in the top half of the 5th inning. Now this one right-handed off the lefty Luke French. Leading off the top half of the 9th inning. Out by the landing in left center field. 9-1 Yankees. That doesn't happen very often. What a night for Teixeira. 4 for 5. 2 home runs and a triple. This is Brett Gardner, the new center fielder, batting an A-Rod spot in the order. Gardner's first at bat. He's hitting .280. He has 3 home runs and 23 runs batted in. Strike at the knees from French. 1-1. One and two.
I think the Yankees, though, they played well in the second half, but I think there's something to be said for momentum going into the postseason, playing with confidence and you know, doing all the little things right going in.
They got Rivera and Hughes. You mentioned the back end of the bullpen. That kid Hughes has been just lights out. And then there's
Cope
Rivera,
from the left-hander.
Phil Cope as well. You got to have that back end of the bullpen. Chopped off the plate, high in the air in front of the bag at second. Wilson with a quick throw, but not in time. Nice play by Josh, but Gardner can run. He's got himself the infield base hit. Here is Juan Miranda. This is Miranda pinch hitting for Matsui. Juan Miranda. First at bat for Miranda. Up and in, ball 1. Young man out of Cuba. Strike call, 1-1. Interesting story. We were just down in Anaheim to play the Angels. Kendry Morales having a great year.
Yeah, you spent some time talking to him.
He's from Cuba. He tried to get out of his country 12 times. Was caught 3 times. He said after the 3rd time there was no torture involved. He just said, don't do it anymore, okay? He said they wanted to know who was involved in getting him out of the country, more so taking it out on him. But the 12th time finally worked.
And the Angels are really happy that it did. He's having a terrific year.
Yeah. And they didn't resign Teixeira, who went to New York. He's having a big year for the Yankees, but Morales stepped in. He's having a big year for the Angels. Swing and a miss by Miranda. Miranda appeared in 5 games with the Yankees last year, was 4 for 10. This is his 3rd year in professional baseball. Well hit to right field, in there for a base hit. Each will go get it in front of the warning track. Around to 3rd goes Gardner. He can fly. So Miranda, Juan Miranda, drills one into right field for a base hit. 1st and 3rd for the Yankees, nobody out.
Again, falling behind in the count. Miranda up 3-2 in the count. Gets a couple of fastballs. Missed one of them, and this one he squares up into right. Joe runs over and gets it in quickly. Wow. 17 hits for the Yankees tonight.
9 runs, 17 safeties. This is Freddie Guzman, the hitter. And he takes a strike 0-1. So he's batting in Nick Swisher's spot in the order. And this is Guzman's first at bat since coming up from the minor leagues. Manager Joe Girardi getting some of the kids in this ball game late in the game. Top of the 9th inning, a 9-1 Yankee lead. Freddie Guzman, Girardi's second year as the skipper of the ball club. Fly ball into right center field and deep. A run's going to score. Going back, Franklin Gutierrez is there to make the catch. Tagging and scoring from third easily is Brett Gardner, and the Yankees now lead it 10-1. So Freddie Guzman with a sacrifice fly to center field, 1 out of the inning. 2 runs in here in the 9th. 10-1 New York. We'll bring up second baseman Robinson Cano. I was talking with Joe Girardi right before the ball game. He said, what's the toughest thing about managing the Yankees? One of the most storied franchises in baseball and in sports, really. And he said it's the expectations that come along with the job. You know, getting to the playoffs year after year, and the championships, 26 world championships.
Joe Torre.
Joe Torre.
Joe Torre was terrific for them forever. It seemed like it, and then they had a couple little bumps, and all of a sudden he was out.
Now in his second year as a skipper for
I
the
think
Los
it would be
Angeles
that.
Dodgers.
I think it would also be tough sometimes to deal with all the really huge personalities and superstars on the club.
The other thing he said, of course, which is real obvious when I was down there waiting to talk to Joe, was the media. I mean, there were like 40 reporters there. I mean, every day. Wait till they get to the playoffs. It's going to be massive. Line drive, left field line, a base hit for Cano. Up with the ball out there is Saunders. Gets the throw in, and down to second base goes Miranda. So Robinson Cano with his 4th base hit tonight. A single to left field. 4 for 5. 18 hits for the Yankees. They lead 10-1, and the batter will be left fielder Melky Cabrera. Started the night. Cabrera started the night in center field. Ground ball is short. Wilson over to second. 1-2. He's reeling at first. Double play. 6-4-3. They get Cano at second. Double up Cabrera at first base. But the Yankees add 2 more, and we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Our score: the Yankees 10 and the Mariners 1. For the 9th inning. Say, friends, join us tomorrow for Seattle's last meeting of the season with Jeter, A-Rod, and the Yankees. Our live coverage begins at 12:30 right here on FSN and FSN HD. Ian Snell for the Mariners. It'll be Java Chamberlain going for the Yankees. A lot of changes for New York as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Jonathan Ababa-Dejeo is the new pitcher. Big right-hander takes over. Ababa-Dejeo, 26 appearances, Mike, 5-1 record.
A lot of guys getting a chance to play in this game tonight. Take a look at all of those changes out there. Pretty much everybody knew Robinson Cano, I think, the only, and Cervelli behind the plate, the only two guys that started this game.
And Freddie Guzman now in left field, Gardner in center, Cabrera is over in right field. He's played all three positions in the outfield tonight. Hairston at third, Pena at shortstop. Juan Miranda is the new first baseman. Michael Saunders leading off the bottom of the ninth inning. Back up the middle to his right. Cano backhands, off balance throw, low and wide, and Saunders is safe at first with an infield base hit.
We saw him make a play similar to this earlier in the game. Can't quite get this one over. Saunders runs extremely well. Even if it was an accurate throw, he would have beat that out. So base hit for Saunders.
So Michael on at first base, and that'll bring up second baseman Matt Tuiasosopo. 0 for 2 on the night has walked, lined out to center fielder Melky Cabrera back in the fourth inning. Struck out in the seventh. 1-0. Outside ball 2-2-1. Mariners 3-1 on his homestand. They won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. And as you know, beat the Yankees last night by a score of 3-2 on that walk-off 2-run home run by Ichiro with 2 outs. Yankees with a run in the first, run in the fourth. Big 4-run fifth inning. Continue to play add-on. 10 runs and 18 hits. Three and 2. On deck is shortstop Josh Wilson. Shame too, he got hurt early in the year, Mike. He had a really good spring.
Yeah, missed a lot of time this year because of the injury. You know, you get the younger players, you want them to get as many games in as they can, right? That's the only way they're going to get better and learn. And he missed a lot of time this year. I think it's great that he's up here now, though, getting a chance to play in September.
How much an advantage is that for a kid to see what it's like up there, even if they're not even in the lineup?
I think it's the only way for growth, Rick. Really. I mean, you know, you're going to at some point need the guys in too. Who knows what he's going to end up doing next year? But going into the season, if he's not going to be a regular guy and he's going to go back to AAA, I think the experience he gains here, guys get hurt, you know that. He's shown that now he's playing a different position again. He can probably play the outfield. I know he can play first. It gives you some versatility and it increases his options of getting or chances to get up and play in the big leagues because he can play a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And eventually he will. He's too good an athlete. He will settle in somewhere. But the fact that he can move around right now is helping him to come up here and play.
Gives him an opportunity to get here.
In a little bit, we've seen him play at second base. He's done a nice job.
Made a great play a couple of nights ago against the Chicago White Sox, and a nice play tonight. Turned a line drive by Alex Rodriguez into a 4-run assisted double play. So 2 on, nobody out for Josh Wilson. The count 0-2 on Josh.
But I think it's important for growth to come up. Even like I said, even if he's, you know, the majority of the time, if he's just sitting there watching these guys work, listening to things going on. I mean, when you're on the bench, a lot of things are going on. You learn so much. If you keep your ears open and you listen, you know.
Exactly.
Stand next to the manager, stand over by the hitting coach, and, you know, listen to these guys talk to the other players and what they're talking about and how they go through. Veteran like Mike Sweeney, Ken Griffey Jr., people, I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge there, and they're fortunate because these guys are willing to talk to you about anything pretty much. So you'll learn a lot.
Popped up, foul ground, first base side. Miranda hustling in, and Juan Miranda makes the basket catch on the warning track right in front of the Mariners dugout. 1 out for the Mariners, bottom half of the 9th inning. With a guy coming back from home plate after an at-bat, Mike, that's an instant scouting report that a young guy can listen to from a Mike Sweeney or whoever's coming back and say, what's this guy throwing? What did he throw me? How does his fastball or slider react?
Or even guys that maybe are struggling a little bit, to listen to those conversations. You know, or even if you get a chance to play for a couple of days and then go talk to them and ask guys, you know, what do you think? And, you know, for me, I would go, you know, what's the scouting report on me? How are they going to get me out? How do I make these adjustments? How do I change? All those different things. You work your way through it. I think it's invaluable.
Ichiro fouls away a pitch. 0-1.
And then, of course, you know, it's the initial part of it is just getting over the awe of all of it. You know, just so that you can relax and play the way that you played to get to this level.
Okay, this is what it's like. Clubhouse is the trap. Play on the field. Derek Jeter isn't 10 feet tall.
You know, I can get a hit at this level. You know, went out and I caught some ground balls. I did some things.
I got a shot to play up here. Kinski on the left talking things over with Derek Jeter. It's always baseball 101 every night. Off the glove of the catcher Cervelli, but the runners hold. Tui at first and Saunders at second base. It's just an open classroom, Mike, as you mentioned. So much information every night that you pick up. I was talking with Adam Moore before the game this afternoon, and I'll tell you what, his eyes were wide open last night. I had a chance to watch the game after he made his debut a couple of nights ago.
A debut, 14 innings.
Yeah. Way to go, kid. Fouled away by Ichiro. The count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fouled away again, and it's still 2-2 on Ichiro. Fouls this one into the terrace club level. There's a look at Adam Moore. He's out there in the bullpen with Garrett Olson. Those two guys work together down at Tacoma. There's that exchange of information, Mike, going on.
Just talking about baseball. You know, you never know what's going to click. Help you become a little bit better.
Fouled away again. Chris Jakubowski, Sean Kelly, open catcher Jason Phillips. I think Phillips has been, the guy on the left right there, has been a real good addition because he's a former catcher in the big leagues.
I would agree with that.
Let's help those guys out in the bullpen all year long. Fly ball straightaway center field right at Brett Gardner, and he's there to make the catch, and the Mariners are down to their final out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 10-1 Yankees. Brings up center fielder Franklin Gutierrez. Join us right back here at the ballpark tomorrow afternoon. Game time 1:10, the final game of the series. Ian Snell against Jabba Chamberlain. And it's on the road to Tampa Bay for 2 and Toronto for 4. And back home for the final homestand of the year, Oakland and Texas. Ball 1. What sort of things did you want to find out during the course of the game when you first came up with the Yankees? What were you looking at?
I had no idea what I was looking at, Rick. And that's the truth. You know, it felt like you make the progressions through A ball and Double A and Triple A, and all of a sudden you find yourself in the big leagues. And for me, I think that You really don't know all the different nuances. It's so much different here at this level. Scouting reports, they have them every day. They track you every single day, from the guys in the bullpen to the start of that day, who you're going to face tomorrow, defensive charts. You don't get any of those things in AAA. At least you didn't when I was there. And all of a sudden, all this there's a wealth of information. It's just a matter of how do I process it, what applies to me, how can I use these things.
Yeah. Broken back, ground ball is short. Over to second for the force on Matt Tuiasosopo, and the ball game is over. Pena over to Cano for the final out of the game. And the Yankees take game 2 of the 3-game series 10-1. The series tied at 1-1 apiece. And tomorrow afternoon, the rubber match of the 3-game series, Ian Snell against Jabba Chamberlain. A lot of offense from the New York Yankees, and that's what they do. 10 runs on